New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience? Or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
You're in the flow with Rev Skip.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of In the Flow with Rev Skip. And when you're in the flow, you have faith, love, openness, and willingness that a transformation can happen. I welcome you into the spiritual zone, and I just bless you on this beautiful spring morning for us. And maybe you're watching this later on, it's spring somewhere. And if spring hasn't sprung, it will soon. So I bless you and I honor you and I thank God for you. And I don't do the show alone, so I got to bring my partner into the mix. Diego, please join me in this room.
Good morning, Godling.
That is so you. That is so.
Here, let me put your background on there. Sorry, I had our New Thought Media Network background on.
Hey, I'm New Thought family now. Come
you
on,
are.
you can. It's
But
powerful.
But I got to be in the flow. How you doing today, brother?
Oh, I'm doing really good, man. I got to tell you, it's been a morning, and my Fridays are very full. Like our guest today, Rev Briz, his Fridays are very full as well. His show talking, I wish I had the beep, but I'm going to say it, ministers talking shit. It's a great show. If you haven't seen it,
I'll get that in post. I'll put the beep.
We'll get that. Please do that. It's a great show, but Friday's a busy day for us and at this network, and I do another online show somewhere else, and I come jump on here. So I'm just grateful to be here.
Oh, and we're so grateful to have your presence. Your presence is a present.
I love working with you, man. It is truly a partnership. You catch things, I get ideas. You go, let's work this way. And it's just a great experience to work with you. Thank you so much.
Co-creation at its greatest.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you'll let me know when I go in and out on the sounds and technology. We were talking before we got on the show is that the internet's tired, y'all.
We've been wearing it out here.
She's like, I wish y'all just take a break, and we're just doing it. We're doing it. And we are, one of the things I love about the segment that we do, one of the segments called the Yes Moment. And the yes moment is you expressing spirit. I got to go backwards here. You expressing spirit.
I'm loving that.
That is the yes. Hey, Jenna, how are you?
Somebody's listening to us. Look at that.
Someone's listening. Yes.
All right. Jenna
So
Lee,
this
so
is
good to see you.
This is the new t-shirt line I've been talking about. The yes, I actually have one to wear today. And let's bring up that website so we can talk about what's going on with the t-shirt line.
My pleasure.
And
look at that face.
And we have a flow t-shirt that's coming out for In the Flow with Rev Skip. And that's a flow t-shirt. It's going to be available as well. And also all the t-shirts that we're doing has a good cause behind them. We're supporting giving 25% of the proceeds to the Trevor Project, which helps LGBTQA teens to prevent suicide. And also Justice LA. It's to help to combat mass incarceration and something that's very important to me. So I'm supporting the planet by doing this work, and these is what the t-shirts are going to help to do that. To also to help support this ministry of what I'm doing, and I'm grateful to be able to do that here on this network.
Tashi Delik, may you have abundance and causes for success.
Is that what that means?
Yes.
Okay, I love that, brother. I love that. Hey, so how's the weather in Colorado? Is spring done sprung?
It is springing for sure. It's pretty nice. Like I said last week that both ends of the last month were really nice, and it's staying. We had a little bit of cold weather come through, but it's staying. Spring is definitely sprung. Yeah.
It's the newness of life. It's the newness of what we're here to experience.
How was your Easter?
Oh, Easter was great. It was busy. I did 3 services. It was very, very busy, and but it was so filled with inspiration. And this Sunday, I'm doing 3 services actually in a physical place where Agape International Spiritual Center actually meets physically at the Saban. Now, it's not open, but I'll be doing the bells again. I'll be doing the singing bowls again for all 3 meditation services.
You came on to Spirit Says Sing not too long ago.
And actually, I did a sound bath this morning. Here it is right here. That's what I was doing this morning on the early morning event that I did. So, yeah, that's part of what I do.
Beautiful
part of what I do. So, but I just want to thank you so much for being my partner here and doing the work I do, because I couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Diego. Thank you.
Love to you, brother.
All right. And y'all, now it's time for Wellness Wake Up with Rev Skip. And today's Wellness Wake Up comes from a principle that I created to help my clients to shift their lives around eating and soul fitness, I like to call it. It's called the ABCs of mindful eating. And the ABCs of mindful eating is very easy to remember. A stands for amount, B stands for balance, and C stands for connection. When you're looking to shift the way you're eating, we always have to be conscious of how much we're putting into our body. We have to have a balanced eating practice. And for me, balance means more green, leafy vegetables. That's what I want to get into to balance out my system. And yes, if you eat protein, that's great. I eat protein sometimes, but mostly I try to stay towards the fruits and the vegetables. And as Deepak Chopra would call it, it is the sun-infused foods. It is all the foods that's bathed by the sun. And then consciousness or connection. Why are you eating when you're eating is very, very important. And Diego, can you put that little joke up on the screen for me? I came across this. I was looking for a quote about eating, and this came up. It says this: "I totally regret eating healthy today, says no one ever." Nothing tastes better than health. And I learned that in such a positive way of actually creating a practice around eating. So that's what we need to do today. That is our wellness wake up for today. We're going to go into our quotable ponder, and our quotable ponder actually comes from our last week's guest, Ricky Byers. Wasn't that amazing? If you haven't seen it, you can go down the feed and you can rewatch it, or you can catch it and make sure you get a chance to see that interview. It was so powerful. So here's the quotable ponder for today, and I think this might be Diego's favorite song. It says, "I love myself so much, so I can love you so much, so you can love you so much that you can start loving me. I love myself so much." Okay, so I'm not going to sing it, but I could if I wanted to. This is really, I know, Diego, I see you dancing there. It's a powerful song, but it talks about self-love, because you can't love anybody else if you're not willing to love yourself, because how we love comes from how much we fill ourselves up with love. So I love myself so much, so I can love you so much, so that you can love you so much, so that you can start loving me. Today, we tap into self-love, and that is what the journey we are on for today. All right, it's time to get down with the get down, which I love to say. Let's get down with our guest. So let me tell you a little bit about this person who became my friend very quickly. In fact, I'm going to say became family very quickly. Today, my guest is Rev Briz, and on this network, everyone knows Rev Briz, and I'm just coming to the family, so I'm getting to know him, but I'm reading his bio just a little bit here. Rev Briz actually holds a master's in conscious studies, is an ordained minister of religious science, and he considers himself a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I want to get a little bit more into that because that's what I feel like I am as well. His lifelong quest of truth has led through many various philosophies and communities. So if you don't know, if you're watching this on my channel, let me say this. Rev Briz is the founding minister and the creative director of the New Thought Media Network, which I am family of. I love this guy. It was a quick love affair, and enough from what the bio says. Let's get to really know Rev Briz. Come on in, Rev Briz. Come on in.
Good morning.
Good morning. And I was saying, Diego, first of all, I'm going to ask you, I have trouble pronouncing your last name, so thank God it's Rev Briz. That makes it really cool for me. But where's his name coming from? Where are your people from, as my mama would say? Where are your people from?
Oh, that's a great question. I have been told that Brzezinski. So shout out to my cousin from another family, Micah Brzezinski. And shout out to our uncle Zbigniew Brzezinski, none of which have any real relation that I'm aware of. But we were taught that that our family, my grandfather, emigrated from Poland. I was brought up most of my life believing that our family, that side of our family, came from Poland. My grandmother, on that side of the family, on my father's side of the family, came from England. Both my grandparents on my mother's side came from Germany. And as the melting pot is in right at that time, so we believed we were Polish and of Polish descent. In the final few months of my grandfather's life, he started to tell one of my cousins some stories that actually, no, he was from Russia, but you didn't dare say that when you landed on Ellis Island.
Right.
So with the name SKI, he claimed Poland as his homeland when he came off the ships. And so we don't really know.
to say it directly, we don't know. But who gave you Briz? How did you come up with Briz? I love Rev Briz. That's good for me. I love that.
Yes, Briz is just that. It's the shortened version of the first three letters of my name, of the last name. I think somebody used it. Referred to my father using that as a nickname when I was a kid is probably the first time I heard it. And I personally just love the fact that Subaru built a car for me. I haven't actually bought one yet, but I'll tell you, it's been on the wish list for quite a while that there's a car, the BRZ, the Briz by Subaru.
The Briz. I've seen it's a very, very snazzy car too, as well. So
it is a sexy car. Yes,
I will say, sexy car. So, Rev, it's my time to really get to know you because the network knows you well, and this has been a year. You've been working. You're celebrating a year of a journey that created this, but it's a long life journey. Where did this New Thought Media come from? And I know it comes from God, but what was the spark to saying, I need to do a network now?
Oh, wow. Visioning. Really the process of visioning. And it all was born out of a vision. So pieces and parts of this have been here all along. And we've kind of talked about this a little bit. I came out of high school and had an opportunity to go to broadcasting school and passed up on that. And there's pieces and parts of all of this. And what I know is it all came together perfectly. And we started the radio station. I started the radio station, New Thought Radio. Probably it would have been, let's say, almost about 2 years ago now.
And that was really a passion project for me
Yeah.
and a chance to maybe dip my feet into ministry again. But it was coming into just prior to the pandemic that this idea starts to take seed and germ. But it isn't until about a year ago, after we're into the pandemic just a little bit, that the first shoot breaks through the ground and the first programs start popping up.
Yeah.
Um, and that was really where it starts to take enough form to say, hey, we got a logo, we got a website, we got a domain, we got all these things. So
I'm reading this the bottom that says, you see that? You see Jenna's
yes.
Okay. So question, this idea of visioning, so I use visioning. In fact, I spoke on visioning this morning. Did it come into an actual was it just a little radio that dropped into the vision, or was it just a feeling tone, or did you hear the audible sound of spirit saying it's time to do a broadcast network?
It's a bit of all of it, actually. Yeah. Right. In my visioning, I will hear music. I will hear songs. I will hear very specific lyrics from very specific songs that are like, oh, hey, oh, I'm going to follow that. Yes, that's something that's not going away. That's something that's sticking around. And for me, envisioning, that's the big thing. I look for the stuff that never goes away, the stuff that keeps coming back again and again and again, saying, hey, pay attention to this, pay attention to this. And radio was the one. Audio, create the environment, create the vibration, create the environment. And really what was coming through in the vision was we would do regular traditional radio, then talk radio, and then a meditation station. And I kept getting in the vision, and we'll get to video someday. We'll get to video sometime. We'll get to, don't worry, we'll get to video sometime. And one of the other things I look for in my visioning is if my notes are written in the first person I, then they have a tendency to be a bit more of me, ego. It's when I'm being spoken to.
Right.
You are here. When I hear things like, relax, don't worry, you're getting there, then I have that deeper sense that, oh, okay, this is the divine. This is what I really am here to pay attention to, because this is where the juice is. And what I heard real quickly after March, April of last year was, now go big, go big. New Thought Media Network was born almost immediately. The logo came together in like 20 minutes. Bang! And I had this logo, and I was like, oh, I love this. And everybody else has said the same. While the website I wanted immediately, the URL I wanted immediately wasn't quite available immediately, we now have a collection of URLs, and the ones that I thought I needed, I realized I haven't, and we've ended up in even better properties and better URL for our growth, for our future. Yeah. It's been amazing to watch the quote miracles fall into place over the past year to get us to where we are today.
How important was it, because this is also a CSL ministry, how important was it to be a part of a vast community of spiritually minded people, to be attached, or not even attached, one with the CSL community? Because this was what drew me to you, being an agape minister, and I love agape, but it's still agape. And Reverend Michael always says that I'm not here for people to stay; I'm here for people to go and spread their wings. And when we had our conversation, I realized this is the opportunity for me to spread into the bigger New Thought community. So, how important was it for you to be a part of the CSL?
Yeah. That's a great question. So we'll have to consider who's watching from CSL today. No,
I hope eventually they'll watch it
yeah,
anyway.
I'm sure. Yes, many of them have told me they're watching. So it's a hello to everybody that's watching from the official, all the organizations. But here's what I look at. Um, Organizations are made of individuals, and all of the organizations associated with New Thought are doing a great and amazing job at bringing forth the piece that they're destined to bring to help make this philosophy a worldwide wisdom teaching,
Yes.
not just an esoteric wisdom teaching that's born in the West and slowly creeping into South America and other places. We all know this truth has been on the planet through all teachings for all time. So
It's
it was
ancient.
it's important for me to be a part of Centers for Spiritual Living as a jumping off point. It is definitely important to say that I'm committed to not just that organization, but any organization that I feel is doing the good work of bringing New Thought out into the world.
Yeah.
And so New Thought Media Network, we're very clear. We named this New Thought. So we are aligned with CSL, but we are open to welcome an agape licensed minister into our family and onto our network. And we have a Course in Miracles show that just premiered, and Unity ministers. Someone asked me the other day, are we going to have any Unity ministers or divine science ministers on the network? Absolutely. Give me a call. Get in the line. Let's have a conversation.
I have a couple
right?
for you. I have a couple for you, Unity ministers that would love to do this. So, and we had a great conversation with Ricky Byers last week about there's room for all of us, and it's not a competition. It's about all of us working together in a unified field that we actually live in. So now we get to operate that unified field, which I love about this. This is powerful stuff.
Exactly.
Very powerful.
Jana's asking in the comments, what is CSL? Great question, Jana. Thank you. We're using a little jargon here. It's the Centers for Spiritual Living. So Centers for Spiritual Living was born from there's a ton of history. Let's have a conversation, Jen. I'll tell you all the history another time.
And we probably need to do a show about that, the origins of New Thought and how it branched off in so many different, but I love that idea. But yeah, we got to tell you the history about this.
But you're striking on the important part, and that is a number of years back when the International Interfaith.
Yes, I know the Interfaith Ministry. Yes,
the name just ran out of my head. But the point is that there was an experience where United Centers for Spiritual Living, International Centers for Spiritual Living, Unity, Divine Science, Agape had already left UCSL, so Agape was part of this. And they all came together for the Congress. And it doesn't happen all the time. And we looked and we realized there were about a dozen different organizations promoting New Thought in the world. And many of them have similar membership, right? So Reverend Michael is a great example. Starts Agape, but is also a founding member of the Association for Global New Thought.
That's right.
And we have all these organizations, but we're all basically teaching the same thing in slightly different language. Now, the thing we all teach is that language is important.
Yes.
What I trust we're doing with New Thought Media Network is allowing everybody to come together and say, hey, you learn my language, I'll learn your language. Let's work together so that we're creating this one language.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It's one language.
And we awaken to that.
Yeah.
And we stop making the other language wrong.
Yes, I'm right there. I am your partner in that mission. That's why I'm here. So thank you for creating a space where we can do that. What I always say on this show and previous podcasts, I truly know that where I started in my spiritual walk is not where I'm at today. So I get to ask you, Rev, who are you and what has your spiritual awakening been like in a very lasered kind of way? But you can, I mean, this is your network, so you can have as much time as you want, my brother.
Okay, everybody Diego, we're going to preempt everything for the rest of the day, okay?
I love that.
Grab a drink, folks. We're here for the long haul.
We're here. Get your tea, get a drink, whatever you need.
Now, because I want to say, when I appreciate you sent me the questions ahead of time, and when I looked at that question, who are you? I laughed because that question evokes a very specific memory. And it is because that is the question upon which I fell on my sword and failed my very first ministerial panel.
What?
Yep. And we were in my first licensing panel because I failed it. Somebody asked a question and something happened, and they were like, I knew I was in trouble because there were various conversations going on in the room. And I said something to the effect of, that's okay, I know who I am. And the senior minister on the panel looked at me, kind of smiled and frowned at the same time, and said, well, now that you've opened that can of worms, who are you?
Yes.
And I was like, and the back of my head said, oh, shit.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, I can't answer this like, how do I answer that question? And at the time, I think I said, I'm a whole perfect, complete divine expression of God having a human experience and blah, 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 blah. And it was ministerial claptrap is what it was. And it wasn't very long before, they were calling people in to console me and help counsel me on the fact that, you're not walking out of here with REV in front of your name today, or anytime soon. So who am I?
Yeah.
I'm a guy that's doing what's in front of me. I'm a guy that's listening to Spirit's call. I'm a cisgendered, middle-aged white guy, but I am still a divine, whole, complete, perfect expression of God. And the guy that couldn't answer that, he's still in there somewhere.
Yes.
But I've grown. And that was 10 years ago, 10 years ago now. I've grown.
Yeah.
Actually, it'll be 10 years this August. Yes, thank you. Almost a decade. And what I've grown into is a place where I don't have to prove to anybody, and most especially myself, that I'm worthy to be on this planet, that I'm worthy to be doing this work.
So powerful. What I take away from this is something that I am learning this journey about, and I stopped using the word diversity. I think diversity is limited. It's inclusivity. And inclusivity for me means that the divine emanation that you talked about comes in so many colors, so many facets, so many different sexualities and transgender and bisexual, whatever, cis, it doesn't matter. It's still all in God. And I love how you said that. And you're doing what's in front of you. I think that's a growing edge that most of us are looking to achieve and have yet to really find their way of doing that. So how do you do what's in front of you?
That's another great question. Because I was ready to say, the growing edge. That's the becoming question, envisioning it. I love that one.
Right. Yes, it is. It is indeed.
But in the visioning process, I've actually added a question
Oh, I
that
love that.
that I've expanded the practice a little bit. And for me, there's a question I ask my clients and myself, and that is, what is my immediate action step?
Ooh.
Right. Everybody, if there was ever a criticism I heard of the visioning process is, oh, it takes forever to figure out what to do. So over some time and with some practice and with some experimentation, I worked with some people and came to this question of, it's kind of a combination of what wants to be done, what is mine to do, what are my immediate action steps. And I ask myself that. So I'm, again, looking to vision, to spirit for some guidance in that.
Yeah.
Now, on the human level, I think number one, it all starts with being authentic. It all starts with being who I am, not trying to be who I think you want me to be, not being who somebody else told me I had to be. Gosh, I'm losing names like all over the place today, but DeMartini.
Oh, D, yeah.
I spoke with him once about him. He's got his blue suit. Never goes anywhere. You never see a picture of this. You can't find, and worked with him in a presentation, had him into Boulder at one of the communities they serve, and we talked and we had a chat. And I said, so, I know you answer this question probably every weekend, but I've never asked it. So I got to know what's with the, and he just said, that's where I feel the most comfortable. That's me and my absolute authenticity. I could dress better than this. He goes, this is only a $200 suit. He goes, I could be wearing a $1,000 blue suit, but I'm wearing a $200 suit. He goes, I couldn't dress anymore. And I got it. And I can't do it in anything less. So we got to be authentic.
Yes.
To do what's in front of us, we got to be authentic. And then I think we have to surrender the result, surrender to what's going, because it isn't always what I wanted. It's very rarely what I wanted or what I imagined, but it's always what's necessary. So if I'm being authentic, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And that's what's the best. I have to trust that and surrender that oftentimes it isn't exactly what it is that I was anticipating. And the third point to this, and the final point to this, is to do the uncomfortable work.
Ooh.
To do the stuff. There's an old saying in Science of Mind centers and New Thought centers, right? The night you don't want to show up to class is the night you most need to show up to class.
Yes.
I as a minister, I love when I ask the question, okay, who wants to pray? Because the first person that says not it is it.
Is it?
If you're in a circle and you're telling me, oh, I can't feel it tonight, I ain't got it tonight. Oh yeah, you do, and you need to pray because you need to prove to yourself that you always have it within you. And last night was that for me on this network. None of the prayer team was signed up for the evening prayers. It was 7:45, 15, a half hour before, and I'm like, nobody signed up. I don't want to do this. Okay, Robert, there you go. That's exactly why you've got to go do this. Set up the room, go show up and pray. And I walked away feeling better.
Yeah. It's so funny that you're talking about praying. And I learned early on in this study is that, praying is what we do. And when someone says who wants to pray, you be the very first person. So much when you're a new minister, you just want to pray. You just like jump in. And so I was just in the summer, I was in a group of people who were doing From Race to Grace, helping people to heal the traumas of racism. So in this group of practitioners and ministers preparing to do this, and the facilitator or teacher, Aisha Mason, would say, okay, who wants to pray? Everyone but Skip. Because it was like, you pray all the time. We love that you pray all the time. But it's like, who wants to pray? I'll pray because I love praying. That's what I do. But right. The other thing that I want to bring to mind, what you're talking about, that follow through. One of the elements of visioning that, Reverend Michael talks about is that, we must be willing to sit down and do it. We must be receptive to it. We must step into the surrender to the vision. But then that discipline, the follow through, and that discipline means to cultivate, follow through, do the next action. I love how you expanded upon that. So what can I do today? What can I do right now, which just I'm gonna have to use that, Rev. I'm gonna have to use that. It's so good. It's so good. So good.
And I'll tell you, I've been like I considered myself a purist.
Mm.
I got involved in visioning and the visioning process when I first stepped into a New Thought Church, 2001. Thank you, Reverend Donald Graves. I know you're out there somewhere. He's out there in his RV somewhere. That's why I say that. Brought me into the visioning fold, taught me visioning. At that time, Agape was still a part of United Centers for Spiritual Living. So there was this flow that this was an approved, promoted spiritual practice. I got to study with Reverend Cynthia James when she was the Visioning Corps coordinator for Centers for Spiritual Living. I was on a regional support coordinator for visioning for a long time, and I was a purist. Like, man, you don't stray. You don't go off. These are the 5 questions. You stay with the 5. Boom,
Yes. Yes.
God, and gosh forbid we would do anything other than exactly what Michael taught, right? So,
right.
And along the way, I softened and I started to experiment, and really a lot of it was born from the work I do with private clients. And private clients want to know that they're getting some insight in some direction on, well, where's all this taking me? My business clients specifically wanted something they could look at and put on paper and measure the effectiveness and the efficiency of this practice. And so along the way, I've added that question, what wants to be done, or what's the action step? But I also added a question earlier in the process, and now I also ask, what is my soul's purpose?
Ooh. Wow, you're expanding that again.
so we open with what is the highest purpose, what is the high calling, what is the highest vision?
Yes.
And from that vision, well, if I'm already in this, what's the highest vision for my life? Then I'm only about that far away from what is my soul's purpose.
And it's being revealed.
And what is the question that so many people come to you with, Skip, in one way or another? They're asking you this. They're asking ministers, practitioners of all stripes across all of our quote supposed denomination. We're all asking that question. What's my soul's purpose? Why am I here? What am I here to fulfill? Am I on target? So I took the 5 and I made it 7.
I love it. I love it. And the expansion for me in that space, that I really had a download with this, that what keeps me really in tune into the contemplative meditation has always been music. So I put music underneath my visioning that allows people to be in that space, very, very mindfully thought out music, so they can catch their purpose, because that's what we're talking about. So that's the next question, Rev. What is purpose, and what is we already got a big amount of what your purpose is. So so if you could say to our viewers and listeners, because this is going to go out on the podcast later on, we start doing that very soon. What is purpose, and what does it mean to really tap into your soul's purpose?
I fall back often in this question to Howard Thurman. Right? It is that place where the world's great need and my great gift intersect. And we talk a lot in the last few years, right, this term and this concept of intersectionality that's come up in so many ways. And we all represent the spaghetti bowl of several on-ramps and off-ramps and throughways and byways and flyaways and the whole 9 yards, right? But when I find that place, excuse me, where I would just keep going for hours. Like I said, clear your schedule, folks. We could go for hours right now. And for me, the seed in that purpose is to share and promote the great work of so many people to those that aren't aware of each other.
Ooh.
It's all about how many people have. Heck, I'd never heard of Rev Skip until 6 months, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, 5, whatever it was. And I saw your show and wow, ooh, hey, this guy's good. And but he's agape. I'm sure he's got way too busy. No way he'd talk to me. This guy's, he doesn't need and yada yada yada. That's another episode as well. But but the purpose behind why I finally said, okay, I want to call this guy, is that I'm here to promote, project,
Yes.
and amplify the New Thought message, the New Thought philosophy. So I can only do what I can do. And only a certain segment of the population is going to be able to hear the message from my perspective, from my voice, from what I do. You're going to have a percentage of people that listen to you and can hear you say it, and others as well. And my work, I see, is bringing all of us together, so we're all kind of grooving together,
Yes.
working together, talking together.
Yes.
My wife made a joke the other day. She said, I could overhear something. I wasn't sure what it was. And then I turned on my computer and yep, sure enough, there's Reverend, there you are, sandwiched between two different black guys, giving them all the note, promoting the heck out of them. Yes. And it's like, well, yeah, because religion and spirituality has had more than enough of a white guy telling you what to believe.
Mm.
I'm just telling you that I believe what these guys believe too. Ooh. And so let's bring some unity in. Let's, we have a woman on our network who's Native American. But I don't have anybody of Asian descent on this network, and we need you. That voice is necessary. We need that perspective added into our conversation. We needed your unique intersectionality of voices. We need all these different intersections of voices to come together so that we create an even bigger spaghetti bowl.
Right. And let me say this. I am partnering with you to make this happen because your purpose has given me a deeper purpose after graduating from ministerial, thinking, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And knowing that inclusivity and diversity is actually part of my ministry as the co-director of the LGBT ministry at Agape. My work is all about inclusivity. But I want to say this, is that I want to help you find that voice of the cross-sectionality of someone who's Asian, someone who's gay and Asian, whatever. I'm here on purpose with you. Your purpose that you have shined so bright said, okay, I'm going to rise up and I'm going to have to meet him up there, y'all. I gotta meet Rev Briz up there because it just inspired me to have a new purpose. So I'm so grateful to be a part of this community. One of the things that we do in this show, and this is the time where I step up, I'm wearing the t-shirt today. So Diego, see that t-shirt? It's you expressing spirit. This is the yes moment. And I want to step out and just, can you inspire us from your heart for our listeners and our viewers? Just you express spirit, and however it comes through, that's how it comes through. So Reb Riz, please, your yes moment.
Yes, there is no greater word than yes. And the yes that you are being called to speak, the yes that you are being called to answer is something that only you can do. See, what I know is you have a unique set of gifts and skills and talents, unlike anyone else. They may be similar, they may seem to align, and yet you bring something that no one else can bring to this planet. And that is vital. That's vital for the humanity's evolution. That's vital for the experience and the expression of this new vision that's upon us, a vision of a world that works for everyone. So the you that is expressing spirit is the yes. The fun becomes when we actually say yes to that. When we lean in and really come to a point of trust that no matter what it looks like, no matter what's going on in the world, I know there is more than enough of everything necessary to fulfill this mighty vision. I know I am enough, and that I am always more than enough to fulfill this vision, and that I can't be left cast aside. There's always collaborators and friends and people to work with that are bringing us together to this mighty, mighty vision. So just say yes.
Say yes.
I'm saying yes to a T-shirt like that showing up in my mailbox.
Yeah, it's coming. So is Diego's. That T-shirt, Diego, is coming. Yours is coming. I want to say something what you just said about being enough. Working with someone that we all know so well in the ministry, as ministers know, Kathy Ann Lewis, and I was doing sessions with Kathy Ann Lewis, and I was just saying, she's like, well, what is the thing that's holding you back? And saying, am I doing enough? And she goes, hold on, let's go a little bit deeper. Is it if you're doing enough or if you are enough? And I went, yeah. And then the next week we came back. She says, okay, let's go from enough to, am I desirable enough to do what I'm doing? That means that right place I was looking for, spiritual community to serve. She was like, you are enough and you're desirable. People are looking for you. And lo and behold, a month later, here you come saying, be a part of this ministry. I went, okay, God. So this is a church without walls. This is not a brick and mortar thing. This is something that's more expansive, that's going global. So I just want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of this movement. It just means so much to me in this time when, as a new minister, we're all looking for that place where we can speak and be a beneficial presence upon this planet. And Reverend Cheryl's on. That's my teacher. Hi, Reverend Cheryl.
Welcome, Cheryl.
And I'm going to have Reverend Cheryl on as a guest to talk about spiritual education because she was the dean. She's our former dean of the Agape University, and she has so much insight about spiritual studies. So I'm going to have her on as a guest so we can talk about that. Diego, I come back in, Diego, because you got to help me on this because we're doing this as a co-person here. So jump in, Diego. I didn't get a chance to get Rev Briz's handles up there. I missed that. How did I miss that?
His handles.
Well, at Rev and all that stuff that we have in there that we do for every guest. I didn't get a chance to. So, Rev Briz, how can people find you? Because I don't want to take responsibility for fully missing that, but I will because it was my
that's why I came. That's why I came in. Oh, okay, I see now.
Because we're co-hosts, we're co-partners in this. So, Rev Briz, how can we find you? How can people find you with the great work that you're doing besides being a part of the New Thought Media Network?
Yes. I think the easiest way is New Thought Media Network. So hashtag New Thought Media Network, spell it all out, or ntmedia.org. You're also welcome to check out some of my older properties, RevBriz, BRZ.com, and or email me, revbriz@ntmedia.org is my most current email address as well. So I'm on Facebook. We're on YouTube. If you can't find me, well, ask somebody. Somebody knows where I am.
Get in contact with me. I can get you. I know the boss, so I can do that. And Reverend Cheryl says, hi, Diego. Reverend Cheryl loves you too.
Oh, I miss Rev Cheryl so much.
I know we do. But one of the things I love about this community, it's really worldwide. We're all over the place, and we have family in in countries and in cities and states. So I am so grateful for that. What else I got to say? Oh, go ahead.
We have contributing members from not only the UK but also Kenya. Financially contributing members from the UK, Kenya, South America, and all over the United States.
So while we have you here too, talk about how people can support the ministry.
Absolutely. We offer a number of different committed giving plans on a monthly basis or one-time donations. And the beautiful part is it all happens at one place, ntmedia.org. Click on the donate button. And we partner with another nonprofit called Give Butter. And Give Butter is a really cool financial services organization specifically focused towards nonprofits. So when you're there, they're going to ask you if you'd like to contribute a little bit to help them keep their mission going, because they don't charge us anything. You send me $25, we get $25. You can say yes and give them a little tip to help them keep running. And we offer them a little bit of something. We offer them a tip also when we withdraw from them. But Give Butter is a great organization, and that's part of what we're doing as well. And we're not just looking to, it's not what's easiest for us, but it's what makes the most sense for a world that works for everyone.
Absolutely. I love that. And part of what I do when I have money that is donated to me, if you want to donate to my vision, which is PayPal, you can donate to Skip Jennings at skipjennings.com, skip at skipjennings.com. And then I tithe back what I receive. So I give to Agape, I give to Enlightened Heart, I support all the ministries. And part of my campaign that I'm learning to do as a minister is what am I going to support? So right now, as part of the Trevor Project, which is to help LGBT combat suicide, LGBT youth, and also Justice LA, which is to hold back this mass incarceration, which is I would say the child of slavery. So we're talking about this. I want to support groups that does that. So you can follow me as well on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And my handle is at Rev Skip Jennings, at Rev Skip Jennings. Also, I would say that you can take me home and you don't have to cook me breakfast. You can buy my book, The Little Book of Big Transformation. You can get my my app, which is called The Spiritual Life. My newsletter, find out more information. You can find out more about the t-shirt line that's out there. We're expanding. As of Monday, we'll have more product up there for you to support these causes. Also, if I want to announce this, because I'm going to talk to, thank D. Love you, D. Love you, brother. Thank you so much. I want to announce this that because we're all doing this together. And one person I want to get on this network, and I hope she's listening, is Reverend Jackie Fernandez, who's my co-host, and also Faith Rivera, who's my co-host of a brand new show that we just kicked off on unityonlineradio.org. unityonlineradio.org. It's called Voices of Unity, and we're talking about inclusivity. We're talking about people of color. We talked about the New Thought Media Network and how we're expanding. So we talk about everything on this show. So join us there. And I'm just so grateful that you could be a part of this. So grateful I can be a part of this. So grateful you took time out to just hang out with us.
Yeah.
And I always end the show. Diego, thank you again, brother. I love you, man. You're just the bomb. And folks, just remember, transformation is a choice, and you can choose today. Until next week, God bless everyone, and we'll talk soon. Thank you, Rev.
Thank you. Peace and blessings all.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience? Or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.